This is the official preseason television partner of the San Francisco 49ers, KPIX 5. The 49ers have put in the work to get back to their winning ways.
We have a culture of players who are going to be fast, they're going to be physical, and they're going to be smart football players.
It's a roster loaded with talent.
The competitiveness that we have on this team right now, I don't know, good luck to John and Kyle, and depending on who we have to keep and who we have to let go.
And today, they'll finish the preseason in front of the faithful.
Game day, I can't wait for Levi's to be filled again, man. It was different last year.
Montana throwing in the end zone.
The 49ers take on the Raiders live from Levi's Stadium right now on the KPIX Sports Network.
For the first time in 10 years, the 49ers and Raiders will play a preseason game. Jimmy Garoppolo will play. John Gruden is here, but he only brought along 52 of his players. George Kittle's going to play a preseason game today. Why not? It starts for real 2 weeks from today in Detroit, and we're getting you ready for the Raiders coming back to the Bay Area to take on the 49ers. Did I say 2 weeks from today, Tim Ryan? We are jacked up. We'll be in Motown 2 weeks from today.
Can't wait.
Craig Papa, Tim Ryan. Here's the quarterback plan, right? Jimmy Garoppolo told me he's going to start the game. He's going to play a quarter and a half, and then it's on to Trey Lance, T-Rock.
And it's exciting. Look, it's a good problem to have. Both quarterbacks have had a lot of ups, a couple of downs, but certainly more ups throughout training camp in the first two preseason games. Look, we're going to see them both today, and we're going to see them both at Detroit, and how they do that, I think, remains to be seen in terms of the quarterback plan. But very fired up to see them both go, and you can just see that rookie certainly starting to shine. I think they both want to find some rhythm today in the offense, and really at the end of the day, offense, they want to score points, and this guy will help them do it. He is arguably the best left tackle in pro football. Trent Williams is going to roll today. Alex Mack, who is going to be an upgrade player at center, very fired up to see him for the first time in a 49er uniform, and Kittle has been itching for some game day plays. He's going to get some reps today, and I'm sure Raheem Mostert, the Mosterati, will pump that supercharger a couple of times today. He's had an outstanding training camp.
Really, the only starter on offense that's not going to play is wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. He's out with a slight hamstring, but he'll be good back to practice this week, and he'll be back on the field in a couple of weeks for the opener. Now to the defensive side of the ball, all-pro Fred Warner is going to start a middle linebacker today, Tim.
Yeah, and his first reps of the preseason. He has practiced all of camp. There is no question he is the undisputed leader and heart and soul of this defense. So maybe only a couple of series, but I'm sure he's going to have a couple of opportunities to show you why he may be the best middle linebacker in pro football.
Emmanuel Mosley's also going to play today. Jaquiski Tartt is also going to start.
Yeah, that's a big thing for him, and he hasn't done anything all of camp with that toe injury, and I think we're going to see the big monster inside, Javon Kinlaw, as well.
So the guys that are going to be starting 2 weeks from today in Detroit against the Lions will get a bit of a cameo today, but also it's a very important day for some young guys to impress to make the 53-man roster. In about 48 hours, 1 o'clock on Tuesday, you have to trim this roster, Tim, from 80 down to 53. And there's one young wide receiver we saw play a preseason game a couple of years ago, and he scored 2 touchdowns in that game. He has not played a game since. For more on that, we say hey to Vern Glenn.
All right there, Greg. Yes, it is a dress rehearsal game for some and a bubble roster game for others. Who is going to step up and make their case? How about wide receiver Jalen Hurd? Blessed with size, speed, as Greg alluded to. We saw a couple of preseasons ago against the Dallas Cowboys, but since then, injuries have consistently kept him off the field. But the coaches have seen it. Kyle Shanahan has seen it. When he's right, he is lightning in the bottle. He is one of the top 6 receivers on this team. Now he's got to show it. He's just got to show that he's got the juice to make this team, because cuts are coming next week. This game is everything for Jalen Hurd. Back upstairs.
Did you say juice? Kyle Juszczyk will play later. Kyle Shanahan is pumped up. A little difference in philosophy. Kyle's going to play a lot of his guys today on offense and defense. John Gruden is here, but he's only brought 52 Raiders. He has not brought Derek Carr. All of their stars are not even back to the Bay Area. John is the OG. John is the guy that hired Kyle into the NFL back in 04-05 in Tampa Bay as an offensive quality control coach. A lot of similarities in the way they coach. You'll see a lot of tight ends today. You'll see a lot of fullbacks today.
Yeah, and I am surprised, Pop, that he didn't bring and is not going to play really all of his star players. They have not really played at all this preseason. So we'll see if that's going to be the right formula for them.
I think the faithful is alive today. A lot of Raider fans are here today as the Raiders are back to the Bay. John Gruden won the toss, one of the few coaches in football to take the ball. He is an offensive thinker. Wisnowski will kick off. This is Dylan Stoner who will take it for the Raiders. Great coverage right away on special teams.
Well, that's our first look at Elijah Mitchell, the running back, and he's a 6th-round pick out of Louisiana Lafayette, and he's already made a statement. First time in a 49er uniform. He's been dealing with a little bit of a groin abductor injury, and those are the things the young players need to do on special teams. He will carry the football today as well. Looking forward to that.
Mitchell did not play on special teams in college in Louisiana, so that is a great way to start. Nathan Peterman will quarterback the Raiders the entire day today. Trey Regis, the back, will step up. Raiders having a hard time hearing the check here on the first play of the game. They're going to run Regis off the right side, and he gets grabbed around the collar and thrown down there by Javon Kinlaw, who was pumped up today. Haven't seen him all preseason, Tim, as far as games with the shoulder, but Kinlaw makes the first tackle of the day.
Yeah, exactly what they're supposed to do as a backside defensive tackle. DJ Jones played well to the front side. Kinlaw cleaned it up.
Our Levi starting lineups. Here's Regis off the other side, and he gets run into by Eric Armstead. Ebukam is starting today. You see Fred Warner in the middle of that defense. They'll play a bit here. Raiders are not playing any of their starting offensive linemen at all.
And I think when you look at that group up there up front, and we've already seen it for the first couple of plays, it will be a big challenge for them to block that front four with 49ers. 49ers dominated the line of scrimmage last week against the Chargers.
They run to the ball, Ram-like, trying to quick snap, and now they hold the 49ers at the line. 3rd down and 3. We're going to run Regis again off the left side, and the 49ers defense gets a 3-and-out to start.
That's how you're supposed to do it. Javon Kinlaw is going to dominate the middle of the field, get upfield, and then the linebackers scrape hard over the top and get a tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Raiders come out and run the ball 3 straight times. A.J. Cole, the 3rd-year punter from North Carolina State, will be punting. Richie James Jr. suffered a knee injury this week. He's going to be out several weeks. So it'll be Simba Webster that'll return the first punt. It's a good one by Cole. Simba has to backpedal to his 13-yard line. Room to go, though. Gets a block and out across the 30 and up to around the 31-yard line. Simba Webster had a really good preseason game 2 weeks ago against the Kansas City Chiefs. Without Richie James, it is wide open as far as returning kicks and punts. So the plan is Garoppolo's played just 2 series, 1 each of the first 2 games, Tim. So he's going to play about a quarter and a half today.
And wants to find a rhythm. I think that's what he wants to do, get some points. You know, he had the 15-play drive last week that ended in an interception. And then week 1 against Kansas City, the drive ended with an offensive pass interference. No self-destruction, I think, is going to be what he wants.
That was a 64-yard punt by Cole, 18-yard return. Here is Raheem Mostert off the right side, picking up about 3 yards. The 49ers are starting their first-team offensive line, Tim. It is Trent Williams at left tackle and Alex Mack, the new center, 6-time Pro Bowler in the decade of the teens, an all-decade center. Great player.
And went to Cal, everybody knows, and he is going to be a big upgrade for this offense. Calling the protections, calling everything out, identifying the scheme. They love having him.
2nd and 5. Garoppolo going to boot left, and it is caught by George Kittle. He hasn't played a preseason game since his first 2 years in the NFL, but he is pumped up, and the 49ers have a first down across midfield.
Yeah, a little keeper action, get everybody, the Raider defense sucking down. Jimmy Garoppolo out to his left. Now watch Kittle. This is old school Kittle. Carl Joseph, here you go. Here's a shoulder. Arnett, we're going to get you too. That's George Kittle football right there.
15-yard pickup to George Kittle. Put up those numbers in half of a season with an ankle injury. Cubit bone he broke in Seattle. Also had a knee problem. Now play action. Quick one over the middle, trying to hit Deebo Samuel. Tight coverage there by Damon Arnett, but no flag.
And Muse right in the throwing lane, the linebacker. Garoppolo had to try to slip it over him. Looked like Damon Arnett may have had a hold of Deebo Samuel from the backside.
Jimmy's coming off the field, and Trey Lance is coming on the field. Jimmy and the fullback Juszczyk come off. One thing you noted is that when Trey's on the field, it's more 11 personnel, Tim, than 21 personnel.
Have not seen him with a fullback. Maybe one play so far this preseason with a fullback on the field. He doesn't have it here.
This is something they did extensively on the practice field right in the middle of the series. Trey Lance jumps in for a 2nd and 10. And he does hand off to Mostert. Mostert gets the edge. You got speed going right and you got speed going left. What do you do?
Raheem Mostert in the perimeter game. What you love about Raheem is he can hit it up inside, but he's going to come out to the right here, pull everybody one way, give it to him the other way, and just take that Raider pursuit and take advantage of it. Once he's going in one direction and you've taken a false step, forget it. It's a 10-plus yard run.
17 yards to Raheem Mostert. And now Garoppolo is back in at quarterback, and they're going to give it to Mostert again. It looks like the NFC title game all over again. A gaping hole behind Trent Williams off the left side.
One thing you know, and we've talked about it a lot, a Kyle Shanahan football team is going to be led by the big boys at the line of scrimmage and owning the line of scrimmage. Very good block by George Kittle. Trent Williams, you talk about a seal block. He destroyed the defensive lineman. And Mostert just follows Juszczyk right up inside there. Good to see Big Trent back in the lineup.
49ers had so many unrestricted free agents to sign this offseason. The first one and the most expensive one was Trent Williams. KC was trying to lure him away. Trey's back into the game. And again, it's a straight handoff up the middle. So Trey Lance has come in for 2 snaps. He's looking over to the sideline now, and they're going to leave Trey in the game. And that time he was in the game with the fullback Juszczyk in. Now Kyle comes out. Mohamed Sanu comes in.
And the closer you get to the end zone, and they're here at the 13-yard line in the red area, the bigger weapon he becomes with those legs as an option.
49ers are inside the Toyota red zone. 2nd and 6. Trey to Raheem Mostert, tries to get the edge, breaks a tackle, should have a first down. 1st and goal to go at around the 5-yard line.
I guess the stiff arm's working for Raheem Mostert on Richardson. I love the way he starts, puts his foot in the ground right here and then stops, babe, and then he turns the speed on. There's the stiff arm, pushes off Richardson down to the 5-yard line.
Trey Lance stays in. They have handled that mesh point on the handoff very well. Early in camp, they had to get used to it. They were putting the ball on the ground a little bit. Now they put Trey into a pistol where Mostert is behind him. A lot of different formations here. Again, it's Mostert off the left side. How much is the threat of Trey Lance running going to help the rest of the running game?
Well, he's going to change it in how you defend it. It is a classic conflict when he is in there and they run that zone read, and Kyle Shanahan knows it. I mean, you want to load the box and defend the run. The beauty about Trey Lance is he's got a rocket arm. He's very accurate as well. So if you want to do that, now you got one-on-one matchups in the pass game out on the perimeter.
What a drive. This will be the 9th play. They've already gone 65 yards. They got to go 3 more. Now they put Juszczyk to the side of Lance. Pistol, Mostert behind. Maybe changing the play at the line here. A kill. Mostert off the left side. Right down to the shadow of the goal line. Trey has not pulled it and run yet. 3rd down in inches.
Well, it's been there a couple of times, and this may be just probing for later on in the game, or certainly later in the year. If he wants to pull it, the edge is there for Trey Lance. Good job there by the Raiders inside.
Now
Stiff
Trey
defense.
Lance jogs off the field, and they bring Jimmy Garoppolo back in. This is very interesting. In the early 70s, Tom Landry rotated Roger Staubach and Craig Morton every single play. They're not going to do that, are they? They're going to roll Garoppolo. Hulk at the fullback. Jimmy will dive. Goes head first. He's got the touchdown. After all that, it's Garoppolo who runs it in as the quarterback. Be careful. He led with his helmet that time.
Oh, he led with everything he had. Jimmy Garoppolo was getting this across the goal line no matter what. He sees a couple of white jerseys. Muse, the linebacker, sitting there waiting for him. It was well covered by the Raiders in terms of picking up the fullback, Hokett. They had the receiver in the back, and Jimmy didn't try to say, hey, I'm going to use my legs and beat you to the corner. That's the old linebacker in him, just pushed it up inside.
What a drive. 10 plays, 69 yards, 8 runs on that drive, and 2 passes. Raheem Mostert, he may be done for the day. Tim, I think he's ready for Detroit. 4 carries, 42 yards on the drive.
And they're going to have to confirm this and make sure Garoppolo's knee was not down before that ball crossed the goal line plane.
Fleet Blakeman is our referee today, the former Nebraska quarterback in the 80s. So they're checking with Walt Anderson and Perry Fuel. They've confirmed the touchdown. And now Robbie Gould, who has missed 2 extra points, one here last 2 weeks ago after the Sherfield touchdown, and then after the holding call when Lance went for 2 in L.A., he missed a 43-yarder. This will be a 33-yarder right down the middle. And the 49ers rotating quarterbacks. Start Jimmy Garoppolo, then go to Trey Lance. They had the Raiders off balance the entire time, all the way to the end zone.
Today's coverage of 49ers preseason football is brought to you by Levi's, Live in Levi's, and Pepsi, a proud partner of the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, what a scene before the game. I saw Bo Jackson, 34 in silver and black. Raiders and 49ers meeting in the preseason for the first time since 2011. They're going to play a regular season game next year in Las Vegas, T-Rock.
Well, the Raiders may have left and went to Vegas. The Raider fans did not leave.
They're everywhere.
And you know what? You know this. When the Raiders are good, it's more fun to watch the NFL. Period.
They got to 8-8 last year after a really good start. At one point, they were 6-3. Did beat Kansas City at Arrowhead. And then they had some real heartbreaking collapses. What an opening drive that was.
Able to run it. Jimmy punches it in right at the end, just head first, would not be denied. I love the blocking at the line of scrimmage with that Mostert speed behind it.
Wisnowski's kickoff will be taken by DJ Turner. And again, good coverage. He does cross the 20-yard line. Jermichael Hasty down on special teams along with Elijah Mitchell. There are a couple of young backs that are competing for spots. So Derek Carr's not here. He's still in Vegas. Marcus Mariota is here. He is dressed today, but he's not going to play unless something happens to Nathan Peterman. He has played every preseason snap. They're not playing their guys. They ran the ball 3 times to open the game, went 3 and out.
Let's keep our eye on Jaquiski Tart in this football game.
He's wearing number 26 now. Here's the Raiders' first pass. Alex Ellis, the tight end, is there. And he'll get lit up right away. Nice tackle there by Diamador Lenore, who will start at corner. He'll also jump inside later, Tim, and play some nickelback.
And has been very impressive, really. And you watch him, 3-year starter at Oregon. He has no problem running with anybody. And what you like about corners, especially in this defense, is they've got to be able to tackle. And that's one thing that he has shown he is pretty darn good at.
And he also has played well on special teams. 2nd and 7.
There he is in the slot now.
Backside. And it is complete to Dylan Stoner, the rookie free agent wide receiver from Oklahoma State, who caught almost 200 footballs for the Cowboys.
Looked like there was a little breakdown, and Demo Lenore, somebody wasn't in the right spot, because that's too easy. You got off coverage out there by Ambry Thomas. That's a layup.
Raiders get their first down. Now they go to a 2-by-2 formation. Wide splits. Armstead, good rush. This is John Smoke Brown, who's right now on the bubble to make their football team, the former Arizona Cardinal and Baltimore Raven.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the answer for Nelson Aguilar, who left in free agency. John Brown's been around a long time. Arizona Cardinals, as you said, the Baltimore Ravens. Hard to believe that he's on the bubble, but that is pro football.
They are going to keep Henry Ruggs, obviously, Hunter Renfrow, Ryan Edwards, Zay Jones, and Willie Snead, who will be the extra one. That's a throwaway by Nathan Peterman, well covered there by Ambry Thomas. Ebukam got a pass rush on, the former Ram. He's coming out, and the former Raider, Arden Key, is coming in.
Watch Jaquiski Tart right out here to the right of your screen. He's playing that swing route the whole time. Peterman, he wanted to go there just on a little quick one and get what they could. Jaquiski Tart with his anticipation knew where it was going, and then there's the pressure by Ebukam. Both of those defensive ends, Ebukam and Eric Armstead, have already been getting great push off the edge.
New number for Jaquaski, 29, is now being worn by Talanoa Hufanga, who's playing as the single high.
There he is.
49ers showing pressure here on 3rd and 8. Peterman, that's a back shoulder miss. Lenore again with the coverage.
Peterman's been hit a couple of times, and it's just going to be hard for him in year number 5 to set his feet against this defensive line.
Began his career as a Buffalo Bill. His first start in the NFL was horrific. Chargers were all over him. He threw 5 interceptions. John Gruden's always liked him. I think they'd be willing to trade him possibly, but if they keep a third, he's going to be the guy behind Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota. Nose of the ball down for A.J. Cole. This is Travis Benjamin. This ball will go out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. Actually, not a great punt. It's out of bounds on the 25-yard line. So the Raiders got a first down, but give it right back to Jimmy Garoppolo. How much will Trey play on this next series? Well, on the first series, the 49ers brought Trey Lance in for a handful of snaps. Jimmy Garoppolo will start, but Lance is going to come in. They've been comparing this to Taysom Hill and Drew Brees, but that was more intermittent. What we saw in the first series, Tim, they were coming in like they were shuffling in like wide receivers. That has not been done in the NFL since Staubach and Morton in the 70s. Here's Jimmy, going to throw out, broken up beautifully by Arnett. Trying to hit Trent Sherfield. Damon Arnett, high draft pick, number 1 a couple of years ago, has battled injuries, drove on that ball beautifully.
Yeah, he did, and you'd like Sherfield to maybe drive back a little bit harder at the football. He kind of sat and waited for it. When you do that, gave Arnett a chance with that terrific athletic ability to catch up and get his left hand in there and break it up.
Nicely done. Arnett had a rough rookie year. He had wrist surgery. Last year he battled concussions. Charlie Warner goes in motion. 2nd down 10. Jimmy checking. Trey Sermon is now the running back. I think Mostert may be done today. Going to play action. A lot of time. And Sherfield going out of the framework of his body to make a nice catch right at the yard to gain.
Well, and that's what just happened on the play before, where Sherfield did not drive back at the football. He's going to get enough depth here, turn around, and look at him come back to the ball and then out to the outside. That is a perfect throw from Garoppolo. Absolutely perfect.
And that's Nevin Lawson on the coverage. 5-year Detroit Lion, now a 3rd-year Raider. Speaking of the Lions, if you're Dan Campbell and their defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn watching this game, you're like, are they really going to do this in 2 weeks? Are they going to rotate quarterbacks
and they
in
might.
And out like this? Here's Garoppolo on a 1st and 10 over the middle, caught by Debo. Into Raider territory on their 41, wide open over the middle.
Debo Samuel really makes it work in the middle of the field. And you see him here. He's going to come in front of a clear out route there from Charlie Warner and just sit down right in the middle of the zone. And another strike from Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, and this may be the plan during the course of the year.
Trey Lance is in, by the way.
Trey Lance in now. The humility of Jimmy Garoppolo is really what makes this thing work. And I absolutely love that with the 49ers. Everyone checks their ego at the door.
Now they put him in a pistol. Trey Lance is back in. Now he'll throw wide open. Bounce that one. He had Jalen Hurd, number 14, even more open. And then he tried to hit Sherfield, and he bounced that ball.
Well, not sure if he was going to Sherfield or he anticipated Jalen Moore was going to drive a little bit harder into the football. I think you're right. I think at the last second, and I think he threw it at Sherfield's feet. That's where they want to see Trey Lance grow. Be decisive where you're going with the football.
Jalen Hurd is in. Last year, or 2 years ago in the preseason, he wore number 17. He's wearing number 14 now. Here's Trey Sermon. Trey to Trey for a 49er first down.
That's what they want to see out of the 3rd-round pick out of Ohio State. One cut and go. Of course, the threat of the zone read holds the linebacker up the field, and it's the right read by Trey Lance, puts it in the belly of Sermon, and he juices for a first down.
And Garoppolo comes back in. One thing this also does is he brings the play in with him. Kyle does not have to call it from the sideline. The quarterback's got the play. This play's whistled down. Pre-snap penalty here called by Clete Blakeman's crew. That's why Tom Landry did it in the 70s. He would rotate the running back, and later head coach Dan Reeves in with a play, but he found it easier just to rotate quarterbacks. This is fascinating.
It's going to be fascinating watching Sean Coleman today. It's been a while since we've seen him, and he is right in the mix for that swing tackle job.
Penalty. You play first down.
Sean Coleman, Tim, has not played a regular season game since he was a Cleveland Brown in 2017. We saw him 2 years ago in the same game where Jalen Hurd had the 2 touchdowns. He got hurt like the first couple of snaps of that game.
Yeah, it was a bad leg injury and opted out last year. He's going to probably, now that Trent Williams is out, he's probably going to play the rest of the game out there at left tackle. Big opportunity for him to be evaluated.
Jalen Moore is available, offensive line coach Chris Furster told me before the game, but they're going to play Coleman today. There's Trey Sermon on the handoff from Garoppolo on first and 15. Now it's second down and long coming up. Didn't see Trey Sermon last week because of an elbow injury against the Rams, Tim, but he looked good the week before in the opener against Kansas City.
He is a beast. He has got tremendous vision. You could see that right away in training camp when he got here, and nothing up inside, so he bounces that one to the edge a little bit. But again, I think the coaching point on him is just go. Think 4, and then sometimes you'll get 40. You'll be surprised.
And that's the system.
That's right.
He's been compared a little bit to Le'Veon Bell, but he's a young back. You just got to hit that hole to play for Bobby Turner. Now the 49ers go empty on 2nd and 13. Garoppolo going for the end zone for Mohamed Sanu. A lot of tangling of the feet, but no penalty there. Amik Robertson on the coverage of the veteran Mohamed Sanu.
I think Jimmy, from the get-go pre-snap, figured he was going to take a shot to Mohamed Sanu. He saw the man coverage. He anticipated that Sanu would get on top of it. Good play by the defender.
3rd down and 13. Field goal from here would be 48 yards away. 4 go out. It is a first down to Trent Sherfield inside the 15-yard line. What a preseason Sherfield is having.
He's been the MVP of the wide receiver corps. He has been the party starter for Trey Lance. And here for Jimmy Garoppolo out to your left. This is perfectly timed up. Jimmy's able to look left. He slides inside. And then there's the release and the strike to Sherfield. Man, what a get he was.
Had a chance to interview him this week on KNBR radio. He said the playbook was so overwhelming for him. He had his wife quiz him on the plays off the iPad. And he wants to know every position, X, Z, Y even, the tight end position. Sermon, well, he's a hard-running tackle breaker, takes it inside the 10-yard line. That's what he did at Ohio State last year, and he had some injuries as well, had some huge games.
Had a few yards at Oklahoma, too, before that.
3 years there. Actually graduated from Oklahoma. So he transferred as a grad student. He's a bright guy as well. 2nd and 4. 49ers inside the Toyota red zone. They're going to respot the ball. Tab Slaughter, the umpire, will respot it, and they'll rewind the clock. Clete Blakeman will, and the 49ers rehuddle. 49ers have dominated the opening quarter, Tim.
Jalen Hurd out to the right, battling for a roster spot. Travis Benjamin out to the left, battle.
Hurd goes in motion, gets the jet sweep handoff. He was a running back to begin his college career. Max Richardson, the Mike linebacker, flowed with him.
You know how my mind works, and it's a team game, but you're competing at a roster spot with Travis Benjamin out there. Travis is going to give it his all in terms of blocking, but whoa.
What are you saying there?
I'm not saying anything.
If he don't block, he don't make the team.
You are absolutely right.
Wes Welker will get after him.
Wes will not have it. And look, Kyle knows all these guys. There's another guy there, Jake Brendel, in at center now. Alex Mack's out. Trent Williams is out. I think Brendel has played himself right into a roster spot.
Third down and 2. Trey Lance back in. Handoff Trey Sermon. It's going to be close to a first down. They have to get to the 4-yard line here.
Looks like he's going to be short from
He's short. 49ers go for it. Garoppolo's going to come back in along with Charlie Warner. This is just fascinating. The 1950 LA Rams also had Bob Waterfield and Norm Van Brocklin. And they use both quarterbacks, but it's Twitter blowing up over this. Social media has got to be wondering, are they going to do this in 2 weeks? Jimmy's a great quarterback sneaker. First down, 49ers to win the quarter. They'll change ends and try to score a second touchdown.
Again, I can't reiterate enough the unselfishness and the humility of Jimmy Garoppolo. And a lot of people say, hey, man, maybe he's going to get beat out. He's had an outstanding training camp. And for him to, and I really don't think he has a problem with it. Does he want to play every play? Absolutely. But when you talk about the team and you talk about the talent of Trey Lance, I think Jimmy's okay. It's all about winning.
This is the 13th play of the drive, the first play of the second quarter. The 49ers have run 22 plays so far. 14 have been runs for 81 yards. They're already up 7-0. First and goal from the 3-yard line. Garoppolo in the pistol with Sermon behind. Jimmy hands off to Sermon. Didn't get much there. That's Gerald McCoy, number 61 for the Raiders, who's playing on their defensive line. They signed him late.
Top pick many, many years ago out of Oklahoma to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Raiders, this is the Gus Bradley system, and they are going to blitz this offense, especially down here near the goal line with their defensive backs off of the edge, and seeing what those guys can do to hit some of those perimeter plays as Sermon tried to bounce it to the outside.
Trey Lance is back in. Josh Hokett, the fullback, to his left. Trey Sermon to his right. Hurd goes in motion. It's going to be Trey Lance, so we'll go into the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Good to hear that. Boy, what a problem for defenses. You talk about eye candy. Jalen Hurd is coming behind the line of scrimmage. There's a fake to him, and then a fake into the zone read to Sermon. Everybody bites on it. Lead blocker out there in front for Trey Lance. Hokett, that is an unbelievably hard play to stop.
How about this offense? Each quarterback has a rushing touchdown.
The play callers with this team are ridiculously good. Kyle Shanahan, all the run stuff from Mike McDaniel. I say they wanted to start with some rhythm. They have found some rhythm.
Trey Lance goes the last couple of yards there. 49ers dominating the game. Alternating quarterbacks. Anybody going to throw a complete game this year? Well, the Jets have Fireman Ed. Who's that? Fireman Ronnie there. Faithful to the Bay. Be there as the 49ers officially kick off their 75th anniversary season with a full capacity of the faithful here at Levi's, September the 26th. Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay will be in against the Packers, so secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets. Rich Scangarello, one of the best in the business, and he's got a great quarterback on each side, Tim. What a drive again. 14 more plays, 75 yards, and 7:02 off the clock.
And no self-inflicted wounds, and that's hard to say when you're rotating quarterbacks every couple plays.
There's the kickoff by Wisnowski, who has to get used to this. Third time the Raiders run it back. Dylan Stoner. Now, what's amazing about this, the reason you would not do this is because you make mistakes. You fumble. You false start. You have a different cadence. Your quarterbacks with different voices. And there's not been a penalty. There's not been a ball on the ground
and
yet.
A rookie in this offense, which is very complex in terms of all the pre-snap stuff and all the changing of the plays and the motions. And Rich Scangarello has done a terrific job, and they just worked at it tirelessly. Was not good early in camp. Looks like they found the key to making it look good. So far, great today.
49ers have outgained the Raiders 148 yards to 23. They're going to run Trey Regis again. In defense of the Raiders, 49ers did play their first teamers on the offensive line. The only starter not to play is Brandon Ayuk with a hamstring injury, where the Raiders didn't bring like 30 of their guys, so they're treating this like a fourth preseason game. But
they didn't play in the first two.
They did not. That's just the way John Gruden does it. He didn't do that when he was a younger coach. He does it now. Second down and 7. When John first was hired as a coach, he was 33. just had his 57th birthday. Justin Hilliard now playing at Mike linebacker with Fred Warner out of the game.
And that's a change. And Jonas Griffith has been the guy for the first couple of games. And Justin Hilliard deserves an opportunity in terms of what he's been able to do in practice. And he's getting it today. And that's all you can ask for here in the big dress rehearsal game as a college free agent is an opportunity.
They're down and 4. It's only a preseason game, but Levi's is loud today. They check to a run, and Regis will pick up the Vegas first down.
Yeah, and that time Hilliard just missed the tackle. They dialed up the right defense for him. They ran the long trap, and he just misses the tackle there on Regis. To the left of the screen there as he's trying to get off and disengage off that block.
49ers are looking for a backup middle linebacker behind Fred Warner. Aziz Alshire could do it. He did it in college at Florida Atlantic.
A tackling machine at Florida Atlantic.
Played for Lane Kiffin, the one-time Raider coach. First down, they check it down to Regis in the flat. And he picks up good yardage there. Matt Bushman, the rookie free agent tight end from BYU, at the block for the Raiders.
Arden Key, good job pursuing down the line of scrimmage. Jaquaski Tart has got to force that back inside on that quick throw. He's able to do that. And Arden Key gets him before he's able to get the first down. Former Raider right there. They're real excited about his future here. Perfect scheme, I think, with the 49ers to suit his talents.
Mo Hurst is down with a high ankle. 49ers have cut Shalik Calhoun and Eddie Vanderdoes. So one time they had 4 former Raider D linemen. 2nd and 3. Peterman plenty of time. Now he'll run out. He's a good runner. See where they say he gave himself up. Right
nowhere to go.
Right at the yard to gain. Clete Blakeman will give him the first down.
And nowhere to go. Tight man coverage down the field. It's just a 4-man pressure. But right when Zach Kerr spins out of his rush lane is when Peterman takes off up inside. And Zach Kerr has been a terrific playmaker here in training camp and through the first 2 games. Sometimes you just have to stay home and stay in that rush lane.
Nathan Peterman doing what Rich Gannon did so well during his MVP years. He ran for 6 on 3rd and 4. That's wide of Trey Regis. Or pardon me, that's B.J. Emmons now in the game, number 35.
Good job by Arborough out to the right of your screen with that bull rush. Looked like he was able to get a little hand on it.
Well, he has really flashed very well. Daniels now in the 49er depth on the defensive line. Last week at SoFi against the LA Chargers, the 49ers just overwhelmed them. They had 5 quarterback sacks, they had 8 quarterback hits, and they had 11 tackles for loss. Peterman goes down the right sideline now. That is caught right over the top of the coverage of Lenore. They go to Dylan Stoner. Good ball by Peterman.
Terrific ball by Peterman. Go route out to the left of your screen. Just a 4-man pressure. Lenore looked like he was in pretty good shape until the very end. Never turns to find the ball. You can't throw it any better if you're Peterman.
That is the first completion on Demo Lenore this preseason. He had been targeted 6 times coming in the first 2, Tim. No receptions. The QB rating against him coming in was 0.0. Blutarski-like. 27-yard gain. Raiders in the 49er territory for the first time. Emmons gains nothing. They're going to rotate these 2 backs. 36 Regis, 35 Edmonds. They're not going to play Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake, Jalen Richard. I don't think any of them are even here.
First healthy offseason for Kentavious Street, and he's getting held there and still has a big impact on the play. Staying right where he's supposed to be in his gap of responsibility. And when you do that, it allows other guys to come in and clean it up, as Alex Barrett was able to do.
No gain. Quick one out in the flat to Regis. Marcel Harris closes on him fast.
He's got such a great idea, Marcel, as he's made the switch from safety down into the box at outside linebacker of route concepts and anticipation. he knows it's coming out quick. They sent Jaquaski Tart from the other side. He's got the running back out of the backfield, anticipated it was coming, can go up, make an easy tackle for no gain.
3rd down and 10. Marcel making the conversion from safety to linebacker. Ufanga is in as well. He's playing in the box, number 29. Here he comes out of blitz. Here comes Ufanga laying a hit on Peterman. Great instincts.
That's a 0 blitz. They got no help on the back end, no free player. Send 6. They've only got 5 to block, and you see there is nobody to block Ufanga, and a great job by him pulling off on Peterman and not getting a penalty. I think he's going to, and knowing what I know about him from USC, I think he's going to be a heck of a blitzer for this 49er defense.
This will be a 51-yard field goal attempt for Daniel Carlson, who had a brilliant year last year. The year before, his 2019, was shaky late. And he scored 144 points a year ago to tie for the league lead. And he's going to have the Raiders on the board right down the middle from 51. The big one over the top on Demo Lenore, but another rookie will clean it up. Huff! Talanoa Hufanga. Let's check out the perfect deliveries presented by Mountain Mike's, the official pizza of the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo likes pizza. Trey Lance loves pizza. These quarterbacks are delivering on the ground, T-Rock.
Slicing right through the D. Big slice.
Raiders had a good drive, 11 plays, 50 yards. They get a 51-yard field goal from Daniel Carlson to get on the board. That is Elijah Mitchell, who was back to return this kickoff. We saw him make the first tackle of the game for Richard Hightower on kickoff coverage. He comes running up, short kickoff. He's got speed. Never played on teams in college, but if he's going to make this roster, he needs to play on special teams.
And they worked on that early in training camp for him, and running down as the gunner, the guy over on the sideline. A physical guy that runs every bit of 4.35, and the Raiders got an injury on the field.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo is done for the day. He's put the baseball cap on. We'll see Trey Lance for the remainder of this half. There's your Jim and Juice, T-Rock. Jim Garoppolo is done for the day.
I'll have a double if you don't mind, Jim and Juice.
It's a hot day, isn't it, today? Garoppolo's done. So the 49ers had the ball for 24 plays so far. 17 plays Jimmy Garoppolo was on the field. 7 Trey Lance was on the field. Now we'll see Trey Lance. Third series starts on the 28-yard line. 49ers lead the Raiders 14-3.
There's the rookie Elijah Mitchell behind him in the pistol.
And he didn't know which side to go, and he's going to take a hit. First play from scrimmage. One of them busted, either the quarterback or the back.
Well,
so
I would say that it's probably, who knows, but Elijah Mitchell just hasn't been out there. He's been doing a lot of rehab and working with the performance staff, and Trey Lance was sitting there waiting for him to put the ball in his belly and pull it out, and you can't wait too long. Someone's going to hit you.
He had a abductor injury, a hip, right before the Chief game. Has not played yet. Throw on the outcut. That's Jalen Hurd with the catch.
When Trey Lance is in rhythm, and he's a very accurate thrower. We've seen a couple of times in the preseason not real accurate because he's out of rhythm and speeding up, and he gets a wide base. Here he knows where he's going with the ball. Bang. Right to the one on the 14 to Jalen Hurd, this is the biggest job interview of his life for Jalen Hurd.
And he is one big wide receiver. Used to be a running back. He's 6'5", 230. Juwan Jennings gets him lined up properly. Got to be off the ball here. Charlie Warner will go in motion on 3rd and 5. Hurd runs a crossing route, ball behind him, and he'll be tackled shy of the yard to gain by the middle linebacker, Max Richardson. One of the feature Hurd on that series ran the outcut, and this one he runs the shallow cross.
A little stack formation out there, and just never gets to the depth, and really well played by the linebacker there of the Raiders, Max Richardson.
Well, the first time we'll see Mitch Wisnowski come in and punt the ball. Trey Lance has his first series And a lot of people around him didn't perform well. Elijah Mitchell went the wrong way. Big twirler there by Wisnowski. T.J. Turner takes a big hit. A flag is down on the play. That Wayne Gallman down on special teams making the tackle. Flanagan Fowles also was down for the 49ers. Flag down on the play. It's going to be against the Raiders.
I'll say one thing. It wasn't great week one and somewhat to be expected with a lot of new faces out there. And some of them aren't even here, have already been released by the 49ers in terms of the special teams. But Richard Hightower there, very good special teams coach, has really got these guys to respond. The coverage, the returns, everything much better last week. And so far, so good this week.
Cleat is checking with the down judge to see where the penalty occurred.
There are 2 fouls against the return team on the play. Holding return team number 31. That penalty's declined. Holding return team number 46. That penalty being forced from the end of the kick, half the distance to the goal line. First down, Las Vegas.
Garrett Groshek, the backup fullback, committed that penalty closer to the end zone, so they'll take that one. Raiders will begin on their 10-yard line when we come back. George Kittle's going to be there, and Brent Jones will be on stage. Where do I get tickets? LettersDo87.com. Flag on the Raiders. All proceeds will benefit the Golden Heart Fund.
False start. Offense, number 67. After distance to the goal line, still first down.
Lester Cotton has big Javon Kinlaw right inside of him. He's able to get a good block, and then Kinlaw actually, he goes fast and actually gets a good push and gets the big fella Javon Kinlaw down on the ground. Let's see how he responds right here as he's got him backed up.
Raiders did not have a penalty the entire game, and now they have 2 in a row.
Ball out.
Ball fumbled at the end. 49ers should have the football here. The Raiders fumble it away on their 10-yard line. Hold on, Blakeman may give it back to the Raiders. It is the Raiders' ball. Morrissey, the center, may have gotten it back. Let's see.
Well, Edmonds is going to squeeze right through this crack right there. Cuts right back inside. Does a nice job. Marcel Harris just trying to rip it out.
Big hit by Marcel.
Oh, he will bring it now. He will absolutely bring it, and they love that about him.
Was the ball live, or did they say down by contact? Kyle may want to challenge here. Kyle Shanahan showing a good arm. Throws the red flag all the way across the numbers.
That ball looks out, and it looks like there's some players underneath him. Looked like Edmonds came down on top of a player with the lower body as that ball was getting jarred loose.
You need 2 things, a clear fumble and a clear recovery.
Well, here's a replay. It does look like a fumble from Edmonds as he's on his way down. Looks like that ball was already coming out, and then no clear recovery. It looked like Tard had it, then Clinton Dix, and then Marcel Harris is walking away and kind of pulls the ball with his foot, and then the Raiders eventually ended up with the recovery, and that's what Clete Blakeman said. Yeah, offense fumbled and recovered.
So Kyle did throw the challenge flag, but he took it back. There's no challenge because the call is a fumble and a recovery by John Gruden's offense, so the Raiders get the ball back. But a big-time hit by Marcel Harris. 2nd down and 7 coming up. Marcel Harris figures to make this football team. Demetrius Flanagan fouls. Is another converted safety to linebacker. Boy, if they're your 2 backup linebackers, Tim, this team is going to be fast. 2nd and 7. Peterman got hit as he throws, and he throws the ball to the sideline.
And Alex Myers just pushed Stoner out of bounds. Good physical coverage out there by Alexander Myers. There's just nowhere to go. It is man coverage, just a 4-man rush.
Abelcom with the pressure. There. He's playing a lot of snaps today, the former Ram, Samson Ebicom.
Oh, that's interesting. Looked like a little further that 5-yard chunk zone.
Yeah. Alexander Myers, they were worried he was concussed last week in the game against the Chargers, but he did not go into protocol. He's fine. He's battling for a roster spot here. 3rd down and 7. Look at the wide 9. Look at how wide that D-line is. Here they come. Here they come. Rally up and make the tackle, and they do, a yard short. Nicely done.
Nicely done by Jaquiski Tartt, because he is bringing his pads with him. He hasn't played well into last year. You're going to see Tartt here. He's going to have his eyes on this. He knows now. Hilliard's going to miss the tackle, and bang.
Javon Kinlaw got back from D-line to get a hit there. Watch 99, T-Rock.
Laying out on the low end, and
Jaquiski was just activated off a pup on Wednesday at off-season surgery for a turf toe injury. But that's one thing. We talk about Kasarik and the wide 9 getting up to the field, but you got to turn and pursue, and Javon Kinlaw did that on that play. There's Travis Benjamin to return the punt of A.J. Cole. This guy, when right, one of the best to ever do it. He has 4 punt returns for touchdowns and long ones, 93, 79, 78, and 65 yards in his career.
Yeah, and here in their midfield, he's always been a great go ball guy. I'd be shocked if they don't try to throw him one down the sideline or a deep post.
You got time, T-Rock, on this Sunday for a Tim's Vision presented by Zenni, the official eyewear partner of the 49ers. Hey, they're asking me as well. Who do you think going to be RB2 and RB3? What are we
I would
having
say,
our fantasy draft today, and we're going RB2 and RB3?
I don't know about Wayne Gallman, but I would say Trey Sermon is 2, and remains to be seen who's 3.
Jalen Hurd dropped it. Trey Lance put that beautifully right over Nevin Lawson, and Hurd dropped it.
That's what Trey Lance can do in play action when he sets his feet. Good blocking up front. And he throws this, and it looked like Nevin Lawson's hand. Well, I don't know if he tipped it or it just got in the line of vision on Jalen Hurd. I think that's what happened. I'd like to see Hurd be able to capture that football. Well thrown.
It's a big day for Jalen to impress. Kyle Shanahan said he's one of our top 6 wide receivers, just got to stay healthy. Trey Sermon on the wide outside zone. Nice gain there. Well, a big part of that outside run is the cutback as well, Tim. And you have the quarterback executing the play action fake, and he can run like Trey Lance going out the other side. There's no pursuit from the backside. They got to worry 5 has the ball.
Exactly. So then you get that backside defensive tackle blocked, and that thing can cut back in a hurry. Trey Lance is going to give defenses a lot of fits on how they're going to defend that perimeter run game with the keepers off of it.
Coming into the game today, 49er would-be receivers had 7 drops on Trey Lance passes. Should we give Jalen Hurd an 8th? Let's give the 49ers a first down to Trey Sermon.
Sermon is a bruiser in there, and that's one thing about him, and they want him downhill, and they want him to hit it with some urgency, but his vision and his balance is really good as he gets up inside there and really uses his arm to brace himself as he's going down and able to pick up the extra yards for the first down.
Kyle Shanahan has got to love this. The first 2 scripted series alternating the quarterbacks went great. The one with Trey by himself, the third one not as good. This one's humming. Jalen Hurd will catch this one. Great work by Trey Lance on the keep, rolling to his left.
And a quarterback choice. You want the shallow one out there to Ross Dwelly? Or do you want to go, or excuse me, it was Warner, or do you want to go deep there to Jalen Hurd on the second tier of the bootleg? Another strike. That started last week, that one to Richie James. Remember, against the Chargers, rolled to his left and drops it right on the money, and those guys, the receivers, never break stride as Hurd did there.
Kyle Shanahan really featuring Jalen Hurd last series and this series. Inside run to Elijah Mitchell. Inside the Toyota red zone for the 49ers. Here's your battle at the back end of the roster. Juwan Jennings looks so good early. Travis Benjamin's the old vet. And then you got Jalen Hurd, Tim, trying to impress today.
Yeah, and again, I mean, they know a lot about Travis Benjamin, and I think they still want to see if he can really stretch a defense and get that deep ball. But Hurd brings so much to the table with those rare skill sets, size, and speed.
They are going to likely keep 6. Pre-snap penalty. First one the 49ers have had.
False start. Offense for 49. It's a 5-yard penalty.
On Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, that's twice. And the first time he went the wrong way, it appeared, when Trey Lance was sitting there waiting for him. And You will not get a lot of playing time doing that for Bobby Turner, the running backs coach, or Kyle Shanahan. Those are the things that they really aggravate those coaches because they work so darn hard on it of none of those self-inflicted wounds.
That's what was so impressive when they were alternating quarterbacks the first 2 series. They did not have those kind of mistakes. Give it to him. Trey Sermon or Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell back into the game. Nice run. Lowered his shoulder and helmet.
Watch Jake Brendel at center, and one thing I'm impressed with him is how he locks on and stays engaged and just keeps rolling. I mean, he's going to stay engaged the whole time, does not allow the interior defensive tackle to get off that block. And then Elijah Mitchell downhill ends up taking a big hit from Roderick Teamer.
49ers do not have to run a play here. This will take us to the 2-minute warning.
Brendel's had a really good
camp
and 2 good preseason games, always on his feet. That's the thing now, especially in this offense. You better have some athleticism to be able to stay on your feet and run with defensive linemen.
I was talking to Chris Furster, the offensive line coach. He said this is not only his best O-line, it's his deepest he's ever had. You got to get Game Pass, Banjo Man. Real season starts in a couple of weeks. Preseason is winding up today. We're only playing 3 preseason games, Tim. Now this is the last one.
17 real ones, baby. 17 real ones.
17-3. 49ers are playing 2 preseason games at home, 1 on the road. They'll play an extra road game this year in Cincinnati, so 9 on the road. Toyota red zone. Elijah Mitchell on the handoff. Flag came down late. 49ers were playing an air-free game until they got in the red zone, and they've had penalties pile up here.
The Raiders, because they've been running it so well, are just stacking the box with defenders.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Defense, number 55.
It's on the Raiders.
Half the distance to the goal line. First down, San Francisco.
It's on the young linebacker, the former Clemson safety, converted the linebacker Tanner Muse.
I don't think he played at all last year, right, with a toe injury.
He was on IR the entire year last year. Wearing Matt Millen's old number 55, so you know he's going to grab a face mask in there. Matt started with the Raiders, went to the 49ers, won Super Bowls all over the place. He's here today broadcasting the game of the Raiders TV network with the great Rich Gannon. Beth Mowins is here. Out of the pistol. Low snap from center, and Trey Lance bobbles the ball but keeps it. A high snap from center that time. And Jake Brendel.
It looked like he had it for a second, and as he reached out, low snap, and then it just slipped out of his hand, and that was not good. I mean, someone was going the wrong way as Jalen Hurd and Elijah Mitchell both ran into each other, and that's why practice is important. And who knows what happens here in terms of what those 2 guys were doing, but luckily it's not on the ground, and Trey's able to get it, and not a huge loss on the play.
At North Dakota State, usually in the NFL, a quarterback's in the shotgun pistol a lot. They have to learn to play under center. This is flipped. He was under center a lot in college, and they're doing. He did pistol and shotgun in college, but I think really because the snap was so low, it threw off the timing of the pistol handoff.
Right.
2nd and goal. Look at him scan the field. Charlie Warner with the catch will take it inside the 5. Look at the way he went through his progressions.
Well, yeah, 1, 2, 3, and quickly. And I think he wanted Jalen Hurd out to his left on the slant route. There, nope, and then he's able to hold him and then come back to Charlie Warner for the gain. And that's what they want to see out of Trey Lance. Get through those reads and then be decisive and deliver the mail. And when he does that, he's very accurate.
1:39 to play. Kyle Shanahan facing a 3rd down and goal.
And I think like all young quarterbacks, when Trey Lance gets out of rhythm, then things maybe speed up and then the mechanics start to break down in terms of the footwork.
Jalen Hurd goes wide left in a slot inside of Travis Benjamin. They're going to empty the backfield. Elijah Mitchell goes that way. Warner and Jennings are right. Empty set. And he'll throw right through the hands of Jennings and nearly intercepted.
Yeah, he's got to catch that. Those are the plays when your number is called, and his number was called on this play. You see him come to the inside. That looked like a good throw to me. Get a better look at it here. Yeah, you got to catch that.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe Max Richardson's able to hit him, but one thing Juwan Jennings brings is size and something different to the wide receiver corps.
21-yard field goal attempt for Robbie Gould. So coming into the game, Trey had 7 catchable balls dropped, the most of any quarterback in the NFL the first 2 preseason games. He's had at least 2 today. Jalen Hurd had a drop, and you got to say Juwan Jennings had a drop.
Yeah, no question.
And that would have been a touchdown.
No question.
Well, the Niners do score inside the red zone. This one's a field goal, though, and they now lead 17-3 with 93 seconds to go in the half.
It's really been good for Trey Lance when you look at how these preseason games have gone, because, you know, started red hot against Kansas City Chiefs, and things kind of broke down in terms of protection and took some sacks, had some drops. And then the adrenaline flying against the LA Chargers down in LA, and it was a bit of a rough start, but boy, once he settled in and really responded, made some big time throws. So much of him to learn in the preseason, good and bad. And I know Kyle Shanahan understands it and understands the cognitive ability of what Trey Lance brings to the table, and real excited for him to learn from those mistakes.
I'm excited to hear Vern Glenn do the walk and talk with Kyle Shanahan at the end of the half and get into what he called the first 2 series alternating quarterbacks. That was fun. Mitch Wisnowski will kick off again. 49ers will get the ball to start the second half. Short kickoff, Dylan Stoner. And he is knocked down by the middle linebacker, Jonas Griffith. Playing more on teams today with Justin Hilliard starting, or playing behind Fred Warner. Fred started, played briefly.
And I mean, who knows what's going to happen in terms of keeping the right 53 guys on the roster. But Jonas Griffith, you send him off the bus first when you pull up. He passes the eyeball test. He is big, he is long, he is fast.
29 seconds.
He just needs more seasoning in terms of playing football coming out of a small school.
Indiana State. John Lynch calls him Larry Bird. He wears Navarro Bowman's 53 proudly. It's not just a 53-man roster, Tim, they have to establish Tuesday at 1. The next day, you have to name your 16-man practice squad. Peterman with a pump. He wants a shot down the sideline. Well covered there. Myers was all over Stoner.
Corey Unlin has done a really nice job, and he's got the secondary coach was a coordinator for the Detroit Lions and last year, and he knows Alexander Myers and has these guys prepared on what to expect in terms of those concepts. A little out and up. He was able to switch it and get right in the hip pocket. No chance for a completion.
2nd and 10. Check down to the back. Trey Regis well covered there by Marcel Harris.
I think it's such an asset if you're Marcel Harris, and here he is here. He just knows what's coming. He understands all these concepts. So he feathers out with the first receiver and then understand, okay, here comes the check down to the running back, and he's able to jump it.
3rd down and 10 for the Raiders. Get a stop here. You give Trey Lance time to run the 2-minute drill. And he ran it really well before halftime last week in LA. Abu Kham is up in a 2-point stance. He gets knocked down. Marcel Harris misses a tackle. Jaquaski Tart cleans that up. 4th down.
Good to see Jaquaski back in there after the big hit on the last drive, and he got up a little bit slow. Kevin Givens gets nice rush up the middle. You see Kevin on the trail there of Peterman. Marcel Harris just overruns it a little bit. Good job by Haggis, and then 26 puts the shoulder on him, pushes him out of bounds a couple of yards short. Well done.
A.J. Cole will punt. Simba Webster back on the 49er 20-yard line to return. 49ers have all 3 timeouts left and over a minute to go to run the 2-minute drill. Simba Webster will call for a fair catch on the 49er 26-yard line. Great work for Trey Lance here. He got off to a slow start last week at SoFi, and it was the 2-minute drill in particular that out and up to Trent Sherfield out of the slot that got him going, Tim.
Yeah, the party starter. Trey Sherfield has been that. It's one thing about Trey Lance, and you noticed it right away when he got here in OTAs and even more so in camp. He has got a very good deep ball. And this is the guy he's going to want to throw it to right here. They need to see if Travis Benjamin is hard versus this off coverage, but if he can still go.
Over the middle, Jennings makes that catch after dropping the touchdown. Kyle Shanahan comes right back to him.
And that is a rocket, and I love the fact that Coach came right back to him. This ball's got a lot of heat on it. Look at that two-hand catch right in front of the helmet. That's not easy.
Back up on the ball fast. Trey again. There's a flag. Or no, Travis came in a little bit late. Travis Benjamin got turned around by Isaiah Johnson.
Carl Joseph, one of them. Trey Lance was trying to slide that right in between the two defenders.
Pass interference. Defense, number 43.
It's on Joseph.
Ball replaced to the spot of foul. First down, San Francisco.
Benjamin's going to get right in here.
Actually, it was on Johnson.
He just ripped that into that little hole between those two defenders.
John Gruden bringing Carl Joseph back. He was a round one pick in 2016, went to Cleveland last year. He's on the bubble, though. Here's Jalen Hurd, the former running back in college. Didn't block it well enough for him there. Yeah, he was at Tennessee in the offensive backfield. He was a running back. His teammate then was Alvin Kamara. They called him Thunder and Lightning. When he went to Tennessee, Tim, he was a running back, took a lot of body blows, so he transferred and went to Baylor and immediately did a great job as a wide receiver.
Yep. So he brings all those skill sets of get him the ball quick, he becomes a running back. Not great blocking there on that tunnel screen. That was tough out there for him, but he's big enough to block. He's got that mentality. And we've seen him do a little bit of everything in this game today.
So he has some similarities, but different body than Deebo Samuel. Deebo's like a running back wide receiver. Trey gets flushed out. Trey can run. Gets out of bounds, though. Stops the clock with 29 seconds to go in the half.
And that's the big Band-Aid when things break down, is that mobility that Trey Lance has. And feels the pressure off to the left. Looks up inside. Gerald McCoy is there. No, he's just going to turn the corner and make something out of nothing. That is a huge asset to this offense. I did a lot of games when Mike Shanahan was the head coach of the Washington football team. Kyle there is the offensive coordinator, and what they were able to do with RG3. And I promise you, this guy's a much better thrower.
He was the offensive rookie of the year that year, and Andrew Luck was a rookie that year. Third down. Trey will run it. It's going to be fourth down and short. See what Kyle Shanahan does now. Timeout is called. With 21 seconds to go. Fourth down and about 3.
Second timeout.
Yeah, I think you go for it.
He's going. That's why he called timeout. So he was going to kick the field goal. He'd run the clock all the way down. This is the kind of down and distance. We'll see if they alternate quarterbacks as much as they did the first two series. But in this kind of situation, long field goal, short punt, this is the very time you would bring Trey in and run, or at least combo it.
Absolutely. And now the pass, the passing play, you don't have to count on everybody being perfect.
Field goal from here would be 55 yards away. So it's 4th and 3. Trey Sermon is in. Trey gets out of it. He'll run for it. Takes a hit. He's okay, though. Max Richardson tagged him. 49ers take their last time out with 14 seconds to go in the half, and now you're in field goal range.
Little escape lane out to his right, and that's just feel. That's not a lot of vision. A lot of that is feel, and Dickerson takes the inside rush, opens up that running lane. You got man coverage behind it. Now you got Trey Lance and Max Richardson one-on-one, and he's going to get past the sticks.
That's the key, is the man coverage. If you get into a short yardage, 3 or 4, they got to play man. He knows you're playing man, he'll run.
Yeah, and you got defenders that have their backs turned to the quarterback. Now he's just got to beat the one free guy in the hole.
Kyle Shanahan loves this. He calls lapping the opponent. Score before half, get the ball to start the second half. 1st and 10. Well, he just threw that ball away. There was no one in the area. Was he under pressure for a grounding? He also got hit in his throwing thumb. Check out his right thumb there. Somebody ran the wrong route.
Someone ran the wrong route. He was anticipating, I believe, Charlie Warner out to his right running the corner route.
What's up with the thumb? Max Richardson again hits him on the right thumb.
I think he was holding his index finger.
Okay. Is that near the thumb?
It's right next to it.
All right. That's worse as a thrower, isn't it?
I don't know. We're about to find out.
Going for the end zone here. Flag is going to come down. Again, it's Isaiah Johnson. You knew they would take a deep shot to Travis Benjamin. Well covered, but he never turned for the ball, and I think he did collide with Benjamin in the back of the end zone.
And I think the whole key is Trey Lance puts this up.
Number 31. The ball he plays at the 1 yard line. First down, San Francisco.
He puts it up where Travis Benjamin has a shot to get it, and clearly pass interference before the ball got there. But if that ball's thrown out of the back of the end zone and not put in that catch radius, who knows?
Now what do? You have no more timeouts left. 1st and goal, 1 yard line. You've got to throw the ball here, right?
You don't have to do anything with 5 at quarterback.
If you run it in, but if you run it, it'd be your last play. They're going to empty the backfield. Quarterback's live. Will he run here? He wants Charlie Warner in the front of the end zone. Now 2 seconds to go, and now Kyle will kick the field goal. Boy, that was beautifully managed by the head coach all the way down the field. Take your last shot.
And gave Charlie Warner a shot. He's just going to run a quick little option route, try to press into the defensive back.
Just a wise stick there.
Yeah, that's well played.
I mean, it's a preseason game. You could go for it again, but he's not going to do that. You got to simulate placements as well. So the 49ers, this is a 19-yard field goal for Robbie. Tabor Pepper. Richard Hightower was gushing about him, saying he's 100% on laces. Never misses. The laces have got to be lined up right.
Laces out, Pop.
Laces out. Oh, Vern Glenn is going to have the head coach, Kyle Shanahan. This should be great.
The rotating quarterbacks, is that the norm moving forward?
Probably not. We just wanted to practice today, and what a good time to practice it. It's a preseason.
Well, if nothing else, he gave the Detroit Lions something those first couple of series. Have you seen what you need, or do you need to see more into the second half?
I mean, want to win this game. I'm going to talk to the coaches in that halftime, count out how many reps the guys have. We had a plan going into it, how many plays they get, and I'm going to see what those numbers are.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
guys?
Yes, thank you, Vern. And you also got to check on the index finger of Trey Lance, see how the quarterback is. George Kittle actually played a preseason game tonight. He hasn't done that since his first 2 years in the NFL, so we're going to hear from George Kittle coming up at halftime with Vern Glenn. Who's going to be the interviewer and who's going to be the interviewee here? I have a feeling George may flip it on Vern. Really enjoying this. They met for the first time after the merger of 1970. John Brody and the 49ers went to Oakland and won. Jerry Rice became a Raider, and Roger Craig became a Raider as well. Just too weird. We've not had a preseason game since 2011. Maybe the most famous game, October the 8th of 2000, John Gruden against Steve Mariucci. Game went to overtime. Tim Brown on an out and up.
Yep.
Won it in overtime, 34-28. By the way, Tim Ryan's here today. From John Brody in 1970 to Trey Lance in 2021.
And I also like the John Gruden, Kyle Shanahan connection, because Kyle was a young coach then and really went and learned all of John Gruden stuff in Tampa. I'm talking all of it.
Mike Shanahan called John and said, "You want to give my kid a job?" Hired him as the quality control coach and got him into the NFL. Short kickoff again. Coming out of the end zone here on the return is Ambry Thomas. They are looking at kickoff returners. The Michigan corner returns the kickoff.
And I remember talking to Kyle's dad, Mike Shanahan, who I think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. And he said he had so much respect for Kyle as a young quality control because easily he could have just sat and did all of his dad's stuff. He said he went down and learned every bit of it on his own. And it's quite a bit different. I mean, a lot of the West Coast concepts, but a lot different than what Mike Shanahan was coaching in terms of the full scheme and playbook.
Trey Lance over the middle. Jalen Hurd drops another one. Dialed him up on the first play of the second half. They want to feature 14 catchable ball. They're a little low, but certainly catchable, Tim.
Well, very catchable. Get everybody moving one way. Play action. Look at all those white jerseys open up that window. And I don't mind a low ball. I'd much rather see a low ball over the middle of the field than a high ball and those tips and overthrows. Absolutely.
He's had 2 drops. One was a touchdown, and that one. Michael Pruitt moving in motion, the big tight end. Good blocker will lead it up in there. Elijah Mitchell.
Oh.
Wow. He dropped his helmet and shoulder pads and trucked a Raider right in the middle there.
That's one thing. You talked to Bobby Turner, the running back coach. He said this guy is one cut and downhill and will go.
Woo.
He lowers his pads there on Max Richardson and just like a piston catapults him right to his back. I think the big thing with Elijah Mitchell is in college he was a little heavier, and a lot of people were like, oh, well, how fast can this guy run? Drop some weight and smoked a 4.33 on his pro day.
Yeah, he weighed 215 in college. He ran a 4.5, and then he lost the weight to run a 4.33, but he has some power as well. Too high for Jawan Jennings. And the 49ers will have to punt the football away.
Tom Brady told me years ago on a lot of these in cuts, he likes throwing the ball down lower because either his guy's going to get it or it's going to the ground. When it's up high like that, and that one rose on Trey Lance, giving other guys opportunities, the defenders get their hands on the football.
And you're also exposing the wide receiver to getting hit. That one was
back in the day that never happened because you got broke off.
Mitch Wishnowsky with the punt. Good one. This will bounce and roll. It'll roll out of bounds. What a punt by Wishnowsky.
We talk about Pop a lot, finding that rhythm and peaking at the right time as you finish up the preseason, going into real football. The same holds true for special teams, and they're finding that rhythm.
Mitch Wishnowsky with a 62-yard punt to the Raider 5-yard line. Peterman the quarterback, Regis the tailback. Nice cutback by Trey Regis. Out across the 10. Nice vision there to cut it to the backside.
Yeah, because there was nothing on the inside. You couldn't play that any better if you were Zach Kerr and Kevin Givens. And Regis was able to go all the way to the edge with an overplaying of Jordan Willis. Stuck down inside. Good vision, like you said.
Regis 6 carries, 20 yards in the first half out of Louisiana. Undrafted rookie, put up some big-time numbers there. They like him. He and B.J. Emmons are battling for a roster spot. Regis will pick up the first down. Josh Jacobs will be the Raiders' lead tailback, over 1,000 yards of each of his first 2 years in the NFL. Kenyon Drake, the former Dolphin and Arizona Cardinal, is now in.
None of them are here today, but John Gruden's got some players on that offense. They are a top 10 offense in almost every category.
The problem is the defense.
Right.
Missed tackle there by Demo Lenore. DJ Turner will turn that upfield. Raiders a good drive here to start the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Carr has got the system down by John Gruden. He knows where to go with the football. Doesn't throw a lot of deep balls to the wideouts. And Demo Lenore just overruns that. Never really broke down to get in on the tackle.
Raiders last year, T-Rock, gave up a staggering 473 points.
Yeah.
They fired Paul
30
Gunther.
a game.
John was tight with Paul Gunther. And he's gone to Gus Bradley, so he'll run, in theory, a similar style as the 49ers. Zach Kerr again living in the offensive backfield.
I love a big man with sweet feet because the right guard and right tackle are really counting on a double team here. And watch the big fella just swim to the outside. Center guard. They're all thinking, okay, we got to block this double team here and scoop off and double team to the linebacker. And well, 335-pound Zach Kerr says, I'm just going to throw a little quick swim into the gap and track this down.
Veteran. Now on his 5th team, he has had a tremendous August. Peterman throws it in the flat, incomplete. Pressure in his face.
This is where, Arden Key
former Raider
has not played a lot, but here's where you'd like to see him just go. A little hesitation right there. Just go and attack the football. He just slips and goes down a little bit. Certainly had an impact on the play, but opportunity for a bigger play.
Always emotional Chucky on the Raiders sideline.
I've seen a few of those looks playing golf with him.
End over end punt by Cole. Simba says stay away. Not a good punt. Out of bounds on the Raider sideline. I want to know who the last player to be selected to the Pro Bowl as a member of the 49ers and Raiders. May have done it as a 41-year-old. A 40-year-old possibly. Nate Sudfeld will come in at quarterback. Trey Lance is done. When he made the Pro Bowl and caught a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl that year, and he played well the next year at age 41. Nate Sudfeld in at quarterback. Elijah Mitchell gets turned to run in the hole. This is the one that broke the record, broke Jim Brown's all-time touchdown record over Eddie Anderson on Monday Night Football. Al Davis was not happy about that one as they ran up the score.
We came out here on a Monday night, I think it was 91, and I think our corner was playing 25 yards off, and it didn't matter. Jerry kept running right by him. 54-13 or something later. Nightmare.
Later on a Monday night game, he scored his 200th touchdown as a Raider, and it was John Gruden. John began his NFL coaching career as a 49er. Of course, his dad, Jim, spent 17 seasons in the 49er scouting department, and John was an offensive assistant in 1990, the way Kyle Shanahan was in 04. That was John Gruden coming to the 49ers in 1990.
And then an offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles.
3 years there. Al interviewed him 3 different times before he hired him, and then when he came, he brought Charlie Garner from the 49ers.
And he brought the Chucky look with him.
As he called him, the Godfather, Jerry Rice. Sudfeld right through the hands of Simba Webster. That'll bring out Wisnowski for a punt.
That's what Rodney Peete was in Philadelphia at the time. My college played together in college at USC, and Rodney said that one day it was the Philadelphia media had Gruden, and that look, he had that befuddled look, bewilderment look on his face, and then kind of realized that, hey man, this might be pretty cool. He said, then the look never came off.
The Chucky look?
The Chucky look.
They loved him in Philadelphia at the start. He was known as Boy Wonder, and then he became Boy Blunder. Into the end zone for a touchback.
Well, what would you do if you had Bubby Brister at quarterback?
Well, the best was Ricky Waters. That was Ricky Waters. And for who? For what? I think he gave John a one-finger salute one day up to the press box.
And if you made me guess, I would think he's going to sprinkle it in early.
Peterman checks it down over the middle to Emmons. Hilliard grabs him by the back of the jersey, and now they pile on him.
And again, I just think the unselfishness and the humility of Jimmy Garoppolo, who, I mean, his record speaks for himself. He wins games. He took this team to the Super Bowl. He's had a very good training camp. Much better command of the offense than he's ever had. Clearly, he's over that ankle injury, and he can run. We saw it last week as Jimmy Jukes went up the gut for a nice first down and then was able to punch it in the end zone today. But I just think when you got that talent sitting behind him and he's willing to be okay with it,
Peterman over the middle. They got another first down. This one goes to Matt Bushman, the rookie free agent tight end from BYU.
Bushman's going to run the in cut there. 3 tight ends in the game.
It's John Gruden, baby.
13 personnel, 1 running back, 3 tight ends, 1 wideout. Somebody's late to the party over the middle.
A lot of similarities in these two coaches. They will always have a fullback on the roster, and they will always use tight ends.
And say what you want, both of them want to dominate that line right there on both sides of the ball.
2 of the very best play designers and play callers.
Yarbrough.
Eddie Yarbrough picks up a sack.
You know, he came in like gangbusters, and he's going against Hamilton. Here's Yarbrough. He's just going to run the corner. And then flattened out a little bit in camp, but a nice little jab step to the inside and just freezes Hamilton. And once those offensive linemen stop their feet right there and lean, nose over toes, Eddie Yarbrough makes them pay with the sack. Well done.
Devery Hamilton got blown by the rookie free agent from Duke. Was at Stanford 4 years before that. Now out of a 2-point stance. They're going to run B.J. Emmons away from him and bring up a third down.
It's a great example. And look, you know, some of these guys, a lot of them aren't going to make the team for the Raiders up here, and maybe practice squad, who knows. And there's a couple guys down there with the 49ers that may not make it in terms of the active roster. But you get a great feel that this depth is outstanding on this defensive line.
The best we've seen, really.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they just keep rolling them through. And the avalanche starts early with the big boys, and then these guys keep it going and keep it all rolling.
Here they come out of the wide 9, all down. Peterman will run out of the pocket. Willis will chase him. Peterman, nice throw, rolling to his left. He'll get a big chunk there to Stoner.
Well, and everybody did a great job in the scramble drill. Once that quarterback's out of the pocket, now everybody look for work. Go hunt these guys up. Where are you going? And everybody's able to kind of lock people up. And Clinton Dix, sorry about that, just loses a little bit of track there as Stoner. And Peterman puts it on him.
Rush 4, dropped into his zone, just uncovered. Peterman's a good athlete. Kept that play alive. Raiders have had a couple of big plays today. They've not been able to consistently move the ball. You know, John Gruden wants to come back to the Bay Area and score. 49ers defense has been so good deeper as the game goes on.
Tavon Wilson off the edge. Jordan Willis up inside. Tavon is a guy now. Jaquiski Tartt got the start today, but Tavon Wilson was great insurance for Jaquiski Tartt in his injury.
So what's the composition of the secondary room? Jimmy Ward will be your free safety for sure. Then you got Jaquiski. Is he healthy enough to go? Tavon Wilson, Talanoa Hufanga. You got Tony Jefferson. May be able to come back after short-term IR. Over the middle, wide open. And that'll be close to a Raider first down. That's Keelan Doss out of UC Davis. Tavon Wilson getting some snaps
that
here.
Remains to be seen. I think so much of it is determined on health. And how does Jaquiski Tartt come out of this game? Jaquiski made some nice plays today, some physical plays, and see about the body. Tavon Wilson's a player in his 10th year.
Interesting that he's playing so late in the second half of the final preseason game.
Right. I think it's still unsettled on who those 4, maybe 5 safeties are going to be.
When camp started, he was the #1. Peterman will overthrow everybody. Clinton Dix can't find it because it's out of bounds. He was locked up there with John Brown. That's Smoke Brown.
And Clinton Dix, I mean, you were former All-Pro from the Green Bay Packers, has played a lot of football. 90 starts, a lot of stats, a lot of sacks. They bring him in late, so he's just picking up the system, but they love his veteran presence. And I'll tell you, going to practice every day, the ball seems to find him. Some of those guys are just magnets to the football. He's made a lot of big plays.
So they're looking at 2 veterans right now. Tavon Wilson's played a lot of football. Likewise for Clinton Dix. 2nd and 10. That's Ravis again. Regis picks up good yardage. One thing about the practice squad, same rules as last year during COVID. It's from 12 up to 16 again. And there's no restrictions on veteran status if you're eligible for the practice squad. You can put Ha-Ha, Clinton Dix, or Tavon Wilson, anybody.
Right, but you know the key is once you make them vulnerable on your practice squad, another team can grab them, pillage them anytime they want, put them on the active.
3rd down and 4. Raiders are inside the red zone. They're going empty. Here they come out of those wide 9s. I love them when they get down to Rock.
Got to play tight coverage and bring pressure.
Blitz, Lenore blitz, caught for a first down. Tight end breaks a tackle, and the Raiders are in the end zone. It's Nick Bowers. They blitzed Lenore off the other slot, and once he broke one tackle, he scores.
Just a quick out route, and Ambry Thomas. I mean, I get you want to come in and that's well done by Bowers, but you'd like a better effort there from Ambry Thomas. You got to turn that back inside no matter what. So if you're going to just throw your shoulder in there, throw your left shoulder in there and turn it back into your help.
The linebacker, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, was in coverage, but the corner's got to help there. Well, the Raiders are on the board with the touchdown pass to Nick Bowers, former Penn State tight end. Gets the Raiders in the end zone. 4:40 to play, 3rd quarter from Levi's. 49ers 20, Raiders 10.
Back at Levi's Stadium, a 49er injury update. Travis Benjamin shaken up and taken to the locker room, is being evaluated for a head injury. And so, guys, the plot thickens now as far as figuring out how many wide receivers are going to make this team.
Well, hopefully he'll be able to clear, and he did give a thumbs up on his way off the field and not go into concussion protocol. By far the Raiders' best drive of the day as they go 10 plays, 80 yards in 5:20. And Bowers, breaking the tackle of Ambry Thomas, scores the touchdown. So here'll be the kickoff now from Daniel Carlson. Without Benjamin, without Richie James, also, Tim, Elijah Mitchell, we're going to look here as a kickoff returner again. 4.33 speed. Out to midfield. Nicely done. Never did this in college.
So much of it's instincts with these running backs, and it's just about vision in the open field, and then the ability to have these rare talents. Watch this little skip cut he's going to put right there. Just kind of slides and shuffles to the side and buys himself another 10 yards.
Well, to follow up on what Vern asked, so Brandon Ayuk will make it. Deebo Samuel will make it. Mohamed Sanu will make it. Trent Sherfield will make it.
There's your 4.
Then what do you got, 5 and 6?
Then you got Jalen Hurd, Jawan Jennings, Simba Webster, and Travis Benjamin, and River Craycraft all working for probably 2 spots, I would think. And they could keep 5, but probably 6.
Sudfeld going to keep the ball here, and a boot to his left. Lobs one to River Craycraft. Nicely done. 49ers signed Craycraft to a 1-year deal yesterday, so even if they release him, they got a spot for him on the practice squad.
Yeah, and comes all the way from the other side of the field out of the slot. Takes a little while for that play to develop. Sudfeld's got the QB choice. He wants the 2nd-tier fine. Out there to Simba Webster, and he drops it to River Craycraft. Gets the first down.
23-yard gain to Craycraft. Nicely done by Sudfeld.
I was talking to Craycraft the other day. He said he went home after he got cut and absolutely blew his legs up in the gym in a workout, and then got a call back, and he's like,
You're
oh
back.
Boy. Oh boy.
Thought you were going to say he went for a ride on the Craycraft. So Michael Hasty, we haven't seen him all day. Taking a look at Raheem Mostert a lot, and Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell. Haven't seen Wayne Gallman at all today. I'm going to look at Michael. How about the running back room, Tim? Deep now that Sermon's back and Mitchell's back and Raheem's back today.
I think probably 5. And again, I'm taking a shot in the dark, but in terms of the numbers, 4 tailbacks and Kyle Juszczyk is the fullback.
2nd and 12, 49ers on the Raider 35.
Comes the pressure.
It is a pump draw to Hasty. Jermichael Hasty will take it to the end zone. Let me hear it, T-Rock.
Hasty. Great play call. I said this earlier in the game, and Kyle Shanahan, everyone knows, I think he's the best in the business. Mike McDaniel in the run game, but diagnosing that here comes the pressure from the outside, and then a pump draw. Watch Sudfeld pump, turn and hand it off. Very good blocking down the field and in the middle of the field. And then it's all about Hasty and the vision and burst. And he takes it to the house. Love that.
Well, he has looked good all preseason. Every game he's played.
Yeah, I think he wanted to play with a broken clavicle last year. This guy is tough. He loves football, and he shows it every time he touches the rock.
Robbie Gould splits the uprights. Raiders have an 80-yard drive, and the 49ers come right back and score to go back up by a 17-point margin at 27-10. Incredible with the Raiders back to the Bay. Faithful to the Bay, the 49ers season tickets are the way to attend the 2021 season. They're available now to be there as the team celebrates its 75th anniversary with a full capacity of the faithful at Levi's Stadium all season long. Secure your season tickets today at 49ers.com/season tickets.
Pop, you can say it about every team in pro football, and it's, you know, about your depth, but it's really about your stars. And we know about the injuries, the catastrophic injuries at elite positions to elite players last year. If this team stays healthy, when you look at the depth and the starters and the coaches and how it all sets up, should be a great year.
Jermichael Hasty with a 35-yard touchdown run. Nate Sudfeld gets him into the end zone fast as he reenacts the pump draw.
You think he was pretty good on that pump draw. You see how fast he did that?
So Kyle, the last couple of years with Nick Mullins, and by the way, the Eagles cut Nick Mullins yesterday after they traded for Gardner Minshew from Jacksonville and also C.J. Beathard. They've always kept 3 quarterbacks on the roster. So what do you think? Do they keep 3 this year? Does Sudfeld make the 53?
Well, how many receivers you going to keep?
6.
How many tight ends you going to keep?
3.
How many running backs you going to keep?
I'm counting a fullback 5.
How many linemen are you going to keep?
How many can I keep? 8 or 9?
9, 8 if you want to keep 3 quarterbacks.
So what's my answer on the quarterback then? 2.
Depending on what you keep in other spots.
Absolutely. And a lot of the game is if we take them off the roster for a few hours at Tuesday at 1 o'clock, can we get them back on the practice squad? And also with veteran players, if you put them on the roster the first game of the year, you have to pay them the entire
the whole year. It's guaranteed.
So that's where the game you play. 3:03 to play third quarter. 27-10 49ers. Well, the Raiders keep 3 quarterbacks. Peterman's impressed this August. Overshoots Regis there. They haven't played Derek Carr a single snap. They haven't played their backup, Marcus Mariota. Right. Derek's not even here. They left him in Vegas.
And we were saying it earlier. I mean, Derek's a very good player. Does he have a deep ball? Yeah, he's got a deep ball. He just doesn't use it a lot. He runs the system. And I'm a firm believer, when you got a guy that runs the system, you can win a lot of games. But if you're going to get over the top and have a championship team, he's got to have the defense to do it. 2nd and 10.
Peterman going to pump, go down the middle. That ball is intercepted by Ha-Ha. Is he going to take it to the end zone? Ha-Ha. Clinton Dix will get tripped up. He lost the ball at the end. The ground caused the fumble.
Alex Barrett got a big hit on Peterman, the quarterback. And what did I tell you earlier? That Ha-Ha Clinton Dix, watch the hit here first. Ha-Ha Clinton Dix, the ball just finds him. He's just out there playing center field, just kind of mirroring, got great eyes on the quarterback. He's going to take anything deep that comes deep. There's the hit, and then there's the ball right in between the 4 and the 9.
Love the fact the 49ers have 2 number 49. Elijah Mitchell on offense and Ha-Ha Clinton Dix on defense. 16 career interceptions in the NFL. Former first-round pick of the Green Bay Packers. Jermichael Hasty off the left side, going to cut back. He smells the end zone.
What a timely cut right off the back end to Hokett at fullback. Saw a lot of this last week. And it's just patience. It's just patience and waiting for it. Finally, that block sets up. On the ISO play, really the boss play, back on a safety as Hokett hits Teamer. And Hasty timed it up perfectly and punches it down to the 3-yard line.
49ers in the huddle a long time getting the play call in. The play clock is already below 15, so no more sideline communication like the Rams do. They break the huddle and run up on the line. They go into an eye. Josh Hogan ahead of JaMycal Hasty. Lead play, Bob play. That is a touchdown play. JaMycal's second.
Again, the vision and patience on the cut. Gerald McCoy had this play stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And he's in the backfield getting great push right here. Look at the get off and the push. And then the timing. JaMycal Hasty just waits for it. Fullback's not even supposed to block Gerald McCoy. You don't anticipate the nose tackle is going to be 2 or 3 yards in the backfield. And the visions and the patience, and then Hasty just having that low center of gravity to push it across.
When the 49ers went to the Super Bowl in 2019, Tim, they were the second best running team in pro football behind Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. They're live with a quarterback live in the run game. Nice. 49ers have 4 rushing touchdowns today, 2 by JaMycal Hasty in the third quarter, 2 by their quarterbacks to open the game, Garoppolo and then Trey Lance. Robbie Gould makes another point after. It was 20-10 a little while ago, and now it's 34-10 49ers. Kyle enjoying this one.
A couple of takeaways defensively there by Clinton-Dix. They knocked it out earlier in a great position as they had the Raiders backed up. Didn't get the clear recovery, but defense has given up really just 2 plays today.
Trent Williams.
Just 2 plays today.
Trent had a bit of a cameo. He got into play at left tackle, so you had the entire offensive line to five-some. Get some snaps for the first time. We'll get into Alex Mack more when the regular season starts, but what kind of a player is he? And he has history with Kyle Shanahan in Cleveland and Atlanta. Played with him in 2014 in Cleveland, and the Super Bowl team they were together in 2016 in Atlanta.
Yeah, great player. Really smart. Can still move for a guy that's going to be 36 years old in year number 13. And he's been a great fit so far as a teammate with these 49ers.
Clinton-Dix with the interception and the return. Gave it to JaMycal Hasty at point-blank range. He scores 2 touchdowns rapidly to blow this game open. Last time the Raiders were here for any game was November the 1st of 2018. And it was a 34-3 final.
That was the Mullins night.
Let's check out our perfect delivery presented by Mountain Mike's, the official pizza of the 49ers, which is so tasty, T-Rock.
Pumping that pizza, are you?
I'm pumping Hasty.
On that pump draw. Hasty, and then this again, just the vision, the patience, and just driving it through. What are you going to tackle when a guy that size comes running right at you when you're looking at knee pads and shoulder pads? Not a lot of surface to hit.
Emmons runs right back into Alex Barrett, who came down from the backside end to make that play.
Alex Barrett is probably playing with one shoulder out there. He got it nicked up in the game last week against the Chargers and doesn't miss any practice time, just keeps grinding. You talk about an effort guy that certainly has the ability to make plays. He has shown that he can do it.
2nd and 6. Peterman going to keep it. Jordan Willis trying to chase him from behind. This quarterback is fast. Jordan Willis is a really fast defensive end.
Jordan Willis came out. He was running somewhere in the high 4.5s, I think. 4.59 or something. 3rd round pick of the Cleveland Browns. He's gotten so much better, though. You'll take his upgrade as a player if he lost anything in terms of speed. Now 270 pounds. Chris Kasarik has been great for him. Great for him as the scheme with the wide 9s, but he'll start the season on the suspension list, but they can keep him around and he comes back. Fresh legs should be a huge asset.
That also factors into when you have your 53-man roster. Nice open field tackle there. Beautifully done. That is Elijah Sullivan, the fast flow linebacker, to make the play.
Alex Barrett doesn't take the cheese, so he gets right in the face of Peterman, and Sullivan's just, he's all over it. That's anticipation and understanding what's coming. That's a routine play that He's deposited that play in the bank many times during the course of practice with all the bootlegs the 49ers run with those keepers.
Rookie free agent, undrafted rookie out of K-State, one of the fastest linebackers the 49ers have. The Raiders do not have to run a play before the end of the third quarter, and they will not. 49ers through 3 quarters have rushed for 171 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. They've had just a couple of penalties and no turnovers. Completely outplaying John Gruden's Raiders. We'll hear from Al Guido, the president of the 49ers, when we come back. Well, the 49er football team looks to be in great shape, and it all starts at the top. When I arrived on the field this morning, Tim, the first guy that I saw working hard, running laps, Al Guido, the 49er president. You were sweating, man.
It's good to be with you guys. Yeah, it was. That's my game day tradition. You know, you get older, you gotta do that more often.
Yeah, and you stay with your routine, I'm sure.
I do the same thing every single game. Take a couple laps around the field, run through the concourses, get a good feel for what game day is going to be like. It's kind of a routine going all the way back to my college days. Then I was warming up to play, but now I'm warming up to watch.
Warming up to get these seats sold. And
yeah.
Look, I said this earlier before you got here, and it's all about injuries in pro football. This team stays healthy. It is going to be a great year for the team and for the fans.
You know, well, we're really excited. I mean, it's good to see people back in this venue. We got over 50,000 in the building today, and you're right. I mean, last year was just a tough year on the field. You know, COVID, injuries, all those things. So to come back and get ready to see this team go play our first regular season game against the Packers on Sunday night's exciting.
You know, going back a couple of weeks ago, and the 3 of us were there, with 19,000 others was the open practice on Dwight Clark 87 Day. So tell me, is it different for fans if fans did not go or any of these 2 preseason games and they want to come to the Packer game? What should they know about getting into Levi's this year?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to be different. I mean, VTA just got up and running for this game today, so public transit might be a little bit different. There's no real COVID protocols except for you have to wear a mask indoors. It's mandated. Everything's mobile now. It's been that way on the ticket side for a while, but on the concession side, it's that way this year. So what I would tell people for the Packers is, look, get down here early, come to try to get into the building early. There's new gate entry policies. We really want to make sure there's 70,000 in that building by the time we kick off.
And swipe your way right through the gate like Jordan Willis just in there on the left tackle for the sack. And how about the pandemic and everything that is going to come with it in terms of recommendations, or what are you thinking about?
Tim, we're following CDC guidelines right now and state guidelines. We're outdoor venues, so obviously a lot safer than it would be in an indoor venue. I think our state, frankly, and our county has done an amazing job. I mean, we're sitting at 80% vaccinated in this county.
Wow.
And so I know our fans feel good. Our entire staff is fully vaccinated. Those who are working the game are fully vaccinated. So, look, I'm looking at 50-some thousand in here. It feels very safe. My family's here, but what I would tell people is just give yourself a little bit more time. Everything's, there's going to see some new things as you're getting down here.
And how about food and beverage here when the fans are here? Because someone told me from the KC game, like, I couldn't believe it. The food was free. What's going on? I go, I don't know. That may have been factored into the ticket sales. I have no idea.
We're working it all. Out. Full season ticket members get their food and beverage for free on game day. Yep, that's right.
There it is.
I'm a season ticket member. We could have something delivered to the booth here.
That's exactly right. We can figure it out. You can pull up that phone.
I got it right here. I just go to my 49er app on my phone.
There you go.
Maybe give Zach Kerr some free food too.
Jordan Willis has a sack. Zach Kerr has a sack. Al, get to hang around. That was a quick series. We got to find out more about the 75th anniversary season. What's going on with the 49ers? Zach Kerr and Jordan Willis are players on that D-line. Jimmy Garoppolo was 4 for 7 passing, 64 yards, also ran in a touchdown. Going back to the inception of this franchise, Frankie Albert in 1946 in the All-American Conference, they always had dynamic quarterback play. Al Guido going to join us a little bit longer. This is the 75th anniversary season of this great franchise. So what do you have planned to commemorate the 49ers history, Al?
Well, we're really excited to obviously celebrate our alumni. I always say we stand on the shoulders of giants, and this year we get to put 3 of those giants into the Hall of Fame, 49ers Hall of Fame. Bryant Young, who went in last year, but none of us got to celebrate it. John Taylor, and then obviously Patrick Willis. So, we're going to be bringing back alumni as we go forward. You guys saw it on Dwight Clark Day, but we weren't able to do that last year. We weren't even able to celebrate our NFC Championship game. So this is just about as much as celebrating the guys who came before us, but frankly, all those fans dating all the way back to Kezar Stadium, then Candlestick, and now here that have made this place so special. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, last time the 49ers won a Super Bowl in 1994, they wore throwback uniforms to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the league, and you're breaking it back. And we're going to do it a lot this year, right?
I love it, Pop. Well, it started with the whites. Our guys love the whites. And I remember, 2 years back, Sherm asked us to wear them throughout the whole playoffs, and so we knew the guys loved them. And then we sent out a survey poll, and it was the easiest decision I've ever had to make here. It was like overwhelmingly everybody wanted the Reds back. And so you're going to see them. I know we got 2 away games to open up the regular season, but you're going to see them for the first time on this field against the Packers on primetime. So it should be a lot of fun. Our fans are loving all the faithful to the Bay gear, right? All the throwback gear. It's flying off the shelves. So you can tell it was a popular decision.
A little more popular than the blacks that you guys wore, I think, in the opener here against Minnesota.
Hey.
Wait, I didn't mind it, but I know it was hard for play-by-play guys to get those numbers figured out.
That's what I heard. Listen, we've gone through our bumps here, as you know, Tim. I mean, that first year of operation was not easy. Matty Greiner's done an amazing job on our field. It's one of the best in the National Football League now. I mean, we've worked out the kinks. Now we've had to get some reps in preseason, which we're glad to get those reps in. We're ready now.
I can't wait for Wednesday night. One of the most fun events that I get to be a part of is the annual 49ers Foundation Players for a Purpose fundraiser at Levi's. My first year, it was so much fun. Couldn't do it last year, obviously. So what do we have planned for Wednesday night?
It's really the first time we're going to do an event here, a private event with our players and with fans. We're really, give the York family, the DeBartolo family a ton of credit for what they've done in the community here through the 49ers Foundation. This is actually the 30th anniversary of that foundation, and both of those families have donated over $50 million into this community. And, this is another one of our opportunities to raise money for youth education and youth football in the Bay. We say tackling possible. And look, we all went through a hard time these last 15 months. I know that's the understatement of the day, but getting our kids back in school, getting them out on the fields, getting them playing. I know for me and my girls, seeing them compete and perform again and go back into the classrooms, if we can be just a small part of that, along with our fan base, man, go to 49ers.com/foundation. If you want to buy a ticket, great. There's still tickets available. If you want to donate $5, $1, whatever it is, however much you can help us, I promise you, it means a lot to the Bay.
And we're going to have a game, a match game. I think I'm going to get the old Gene Rayburn long microphone out to host that.
I love it.
That is going to be a lot of fun.
Nice
what a punt by Wisnowski.
He has been on his game.
The booming onion.
I'll be the Charles Nelson Riley for you if you want, up in the corner.
Good to see you, my friend.
It's great to see you guys. All right.
Are you going to run laps after the game?
No,
you just do that pregame.
No, I'm going to enjoy a good cold one. Take care.
Or two. Al Guido. What a punt by Wisnowski.
Pop, the big fellas would be angry at me if I didn't get a good look at their sacks while we were talking business there with the great Al Guido. But Jordan Willis right here just finishing, running around a little club and takes the corner. Jordan Willis on the sack, and then big Zach Kerr right here. Watch this spin move. Zip, right around, tight spin, uses his elbow to push off, able to close in on the quarterback, and then a little cabbage patch for the big fella.
49ers with 3 quarterback sacks today. Eddie Yarborough had one earlier. That was a 75-yard punt by Mitch Wisnowski. He earlier in the game today had a 63-yarder. Hilliard with a bone-rattling tackle in the hole there. Boy, Justin Hilliard.
He will square you up, won't he? We saw a couple of those tackles against the Chargers, and he will come straight downhill, and that's what you want when you got middle linebackers out there, is they're able to read their keys, diagnose the play, and get downhill to the line of scrimmage with a fierce physical tackle. Well done.
Undrafted rookie free agent out of Ohio State. He had 50 games at Columbus, 7 starts. Playing a lot more at middle linebacker today with a green dot than Jonas Griffith. 2nd and 10. Peterman gets the ball in the flat to the fullback, Grant Groshek. That's a version of John Gruden's Spider 2Y banana.
And E.J. Sullivan peeled the banana right there for a minimal gain.
So cut down day is Tuesday. Got to get to 53 by 1 o'clock Tuesday. They're at 80 right now, so 27 have to go. But you can bring 16 back over the next 24 hours when you establish the 16-man practice squad. And you can pluck guys off other rosters on your practice squad. Yarborough got another big hit there. 49ers rally up and tackle. That is what you got right there. The combination of pressure from the front and then drop in coverage from the linebackers.
Well, that's how you draw it up. You can get it done with a 4-man rush, game inside, and then Yarborough just going to keep working. That ball's got to come out. And the defenders just playing off coverage, sitting in the zone, eyes on the quarterback, make your break, get a tackle, force a punt.
Eddie Yarbrough's been impressive. 3 years in Buffalo, 31 games there, 6 games started. Last year was in Minnesota for 4 games, spent most of the year on the practice squad.
Kind of reminds me of Ronnie Blair a little bit. Real smart. I think you could put him anywhere and he'll make some plays.
There's River Craycraft. Ronnie Blair wound up with Robert Saleh in New York with the Jets.
And the reason why is because he's an ace in the hole and you could play him anywhere. And Ronnie is going to be able to, because he's so bright, so intelligent, comes easy to him.
John Lynch was saying teams are calling about his D-line. They wonder if they'll trade any of those guys to Saleh. We're running out of time. The preseason's almost over. If you want a Tim's vision, Zenny Eyewear, someone in immediately. Tech 49ers got one. Is D'Amico Ryans going to continue using as much single high this year?
Yeah, I think it's, down in distance and who they're playing, but a lot of cover 3, and that's the base of this defense. But also, D'Amico will tell you, and even Robert Saleh last year, a lot of quarter, half, which is half to one side and quarters to the other side. It'll be mix and match based on what they're seeing.
Which they did a lot last year.
Absolutely.
They played that the last couple of years with Robert Saleh. Wayne Gallman on the good cutback run, the former New York Giant.
Just overrun there by Richardson. Jalen Moore's out there playing. I wasn't so sure the 5th rounder was going to get a lot of run today, dealing with a little bit of an injury, but he's been out there and rotating with Sean Coleman since Trent Williams came out of the game early.
So you need a swing tackle.
Right.
Justin School tore an ACL in the off-season work, the OTAs, the mini camps.
All start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's on Jordan Matthews, who we've not mentioned a lot today. Trying to convert from wide receiver to tight end.
Put on a lot of weight.
Rapidly.
A good weight, though. He could certainly hold the weight. That's a big challenge when you get pushed into there and you got to block defensive ends at the line of scrimmage.
He went from 215 pounds to 236 pounds in a short period of time. Wayne Gallman's a powerful runner, just climbing over bodies to pick up the first down.
When the offensive linemen are just going to stay engaged? I think Brendel, Colton McKivitz, Jake Brendel takes the defender and walks him 6-7 yards off the line of scrimmage. Talked about him earlier, right in the middle of a battle for the backup center position. McKivitz, a draft pick from last year, has gotten better. He's finishing people. He moves people. He is a mauler inside once he gets his hands locked on you. I feel great about the depth on this offensive line.
Chris Verster loves it, and now he's the O-line coach with John Benton, also going to New York with Saleh. Brendel slow to get up at center.
Here he is right in the pivot. Now watch him block and just stay engaged with the defensive lineman. Gets a little help, going to stay up, stay engaged. It's hard, and as a defensive lineman, I know you want to shed those guys, get rid of them, grab cloth, throw them down and get in on the tackle. But he is a clever little holder and is a lot stronger than you'd think once he gets his paws on you and grabs your chest plate. It's pretty much a wrap. Great balance.
Played a lot of football at UCLA, Brendel. Wayne Gallman.
And I think real key and a big reason why they got Alex Mack is you've got to be able to hook this guy front side if you're a center. Watch this from Jake Brendel right here. See the little quick footwork?
Yeah.
He's able to get right to that guy's edge, seal a huge pathway for Wayne Gallman up inside. There was other good blocks, but that's the one that's got to get blocked first, and that is not an easy block if you're a center.
McKivitz, 68, playing at left guard now. Get off the snap of the ball, hook it, going to lead Gallman. Gallman taking over on this drive. They're moving the Raider defensive line back every single snap.
Taking advantage of the Raiders moving up front. And that time it was McKivitz that they try to shake him up and do an inside gap charge, and McKivitz sees it and is able to turn and wheel on the defensive tackle, and that opens a huge hole. And a big part of that is Mike McDaniel, the play caller, anticipating those line stunts up front and running the right plays accordingly. They're gashing them.
You get a healthy Mostert, the young backs, Sermon and Mitchell. This team behind this offensive line could really dominate people on the ground the way Kyle Shanahan wants to play. It all starts 2 weeks from today against the Detroit Lions, who fired Matt Patricia this offseason. Dan Campbell is their new head coach. Wayne Gallman won't go down. Keep fighting for another first down.
Well, and this is how the backs and the line work together. Brendel again at center. If he's not able to get that reach block right here on the defensive lineman, watch Wayne Gallman cut right behind it. Okay, he doesn't get it. There's the head and the B gap. Now he sees that, and that's the read for the running back. That defensive tackle is able to keep his head in the crease. Then you cut back and get it downhill.
Got to tighten him back up here. He's not in the game right now, but Solomon Thomas did start the game for the Raiders on their D-line. Michael Hasty will come back in. Jordan Matthews, nice block across the formation there. That is a signature 49er tight end block, Tim, starting as a right wing, coming across the formation.
And think about Kittle, as everyone thinks of him as just a great playmaker and he's fun to watch. He's a tremendous blocker at the line of scrimmage, and you're right, they use the tight end a lot in the run scheme, whether he's moving, whether he's the end man on the line of scrimmage. Jordan Matthews is figuring that out.
Ross Dwelly's become a better blocker. The 49ers, when Kittle played last year, they averaged 132 yards a game rushing and 4.9 yards a rush. When he was out, 104 and 3.7. Jermichael Hasty gets wide. Another 49er first down inside the Toyota red zone.
And when you just keep pounding it, guys start dripping off and missing tackles. Just a quick trap up inside, going to pull the guard. Hasty's going to cut off of it, and then there's the missed tackles and guys dropping off. And a big part of that is the offensive linemen staying engaged and continuing to drive the feet and push. A lot of times they're pushing guys off the tackle.
49ers have 4 touchdowns today and 2 Robbie Gould field goals. All 4 have been rushing touchdown. Each quarterback to start the game. Garoppolo first, then Trey Lance, and 2 touchdowns by Jermichael Hasty, is now out. Gallman back in. Hogan in the true eye. Lead play. Wayne Gallman with Simba Webster, the wide receiver, blocking in the middle. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Be a fitting way to end the preseason with another touchdown before it wraps up. And all 49ers today, really impressive performance.
The line of scrimmage, the last couple of games, the last 2 weeks, and a lot of starters aren't playing. 49ers didn't play a lot of starters last week, and today only, a series or so for Trent Williams and Alex Mack. But I'm telling you, the depth on this team and the starting caliber of players, they are going to move people on both sides of the ball.
Pass during the preseason you certainly wanted in the next couple of weeks when the regular season starts. George Kittle and the 49ers will be in Detroit to open 2 weeks from today. They're going to stay on the East Coast in between the next week game in Philadelphia. T-Rock, you'll go with them, and Trey Lance. They'll go to the Greenbrier in West Virginia to get ready for the Eagles. So like in 2019 when they started 8-0 all the way to the Super Bowl, first 2 were on the road.
And I think the first 2 against teams that had new head coaches.
They do. Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia,
offense, number 22.
Wayne Gallman with the
5-yard
false
penalty.
start.
Still second down.
We mentioned Dan Campbell. We'll be hearing a lot of Dan Campbell sound bites over the next 2 weeks. Look out for your kneecap.
I almost every coach, it seems like, on that coaching staff for the Lions is a former player.
Everyone.
Crazy.
Aaron Glenn's their defensive coordinator. Anthony Lynn is their offensive coordinator, former head coach of the Chargers. And he was a running back here with the 49ers and Denver with Mike Shanahan. Stretch run to Wayne Gallman. Gallman with the cutback as we're under 2 minutes to go, Tim. So great month of August, great training camp, a lot of great work, and now it's on for the real season. First thing they got to do is establish the 53 on Tuesday, and then after that, the 16-man practice squad. But do you agree this team right now is deeper than the one that Kyle took to the Super Bowl 2 years ago?
I don't think there's any question about it. And wait till Bosa and D Ford come back. And Fred Warner is such a better player now than he was then as a young player. The quarterback room is much better. So, yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a nice year.
The O-line's deeper, the D-line's deeper.
No question.
Going to try Gallman again. Hoken with the kickout block. Gets him to the edge, but not in. See if Kyle will call any timeouts here. He's not going to want to run it up on John Gruden and the Raiders.
I also think Dustin Perry, the strength and conditioning coach, is certainly more schooled, and all of the performance staff and everybody having these guys ready to peak week one when it's real football. And it's, when you think of the preseason, it was a tough training camp. And what I like, though, is you go to practice this last week, and it was the best 2 days of practice they've had since camp started. And I just think that they just build into that and ramp up into that they're 1,000% ready to go for the Lions.
Wayne Gallman on 4th down will be stopped right on the goal line. Trying to get a 5th rushing touchdown. The 49ers are very close to 250 yards rushing today, but Gallman is denied. Raiders will take over on downs with 27 seconds to go.
And you think of in the blueprint of a Kyle Shanahan offense is owning the line of scrimmage, pounding the rock 30-plus times a game. They were number 2 the Super Bowl year. I think they dipped down to middle of the pack, 15th or something last year. We all anticipate him coming back and being a great running team again. And then when you think of all the play action stuff that comes off of that run game with Garoppolo and the release, and then Trey Lance, who knows what's going to happen. Man, it's going to be exciting.
Peterman will just sneak it out, and that'll be it. Raiders come back to the Bay Area. Flag down. Oh, man.
Offense number 81. Half the distance to the goal line. Still first down.
Got to be kidding. Alex Ellis, the tight end, called for a false start. John wants to get on that charter and get back to Vegas. They're going to open their year on Monday Night Football, September the 13th, against the Baltimore Ravens. Whole new world for the Raider franchise moving to Las Vegas. And the first year they open Allegiant Stadium is during the pandemic, so we wish them the best this year with fans back. But we'll see them next year. They're on the regular season schedule in 2022 in Vegas. Jimmy Garoppolo started, and then they sprinkled in a lot of the Trey Lance package. They went back and forth. It all worked so beautifully. Gus Bradley, the defensive coordinator of the Raiders, saying hi to Kyle. Great respect. Rich Bisaccia of their special teams.
There's Solomon Thomas.
Great respect in these two coaching staffs, to be sure.
And a really good person right there, Solomon Thomas.
Trey Lance. The interesting question was, Vern, on the walk and talk with Kyle Shanahan, are we going to see you rotate quarterbacks like that in the regular season? Maybe, probably not.
Yeah, well, tell me the benefit of saying yes, please. Where is that competitive
You just
advantage?
saw me do it now.
Yeah.
So judge a man by his actions and not his words, but we shall see. I'll tell you one thing.
It's a good problem to have.
You think Aaron Glenn is studying this tape right now and getting ready for both quarterbacks? There's no doubt about it. We saw George Kittle in a cameo role today. We are going to hear from Raheem Mostert. Raheem started the ball game today. He wound up with 7 carries for 53 yards. Should we start up the Mosterati when we come back?